Hello everyone, this is Tribecast episode 50 and my name is Marina. This week we have two guests. First, entrepreneur Natalia Gromova will tell us about her business and was it easy for her to start it. And then the representative of City, Elina Wallin, will share what kind of measures are taken now to help the local startups survive during the pandemic times and what kind of services are provided. Hello Natalia, thank you for having time for this interview. Let's probably start with introducing you to our listeners.
Hello Marina, thank you for welcoming me for your project. So my name is Natalia Gromova. I'm CEO and founder of Tampere Expertise Development Center. By nationality, I'm Russian, and we moved from Russia with my family 4 years ago. In Russia, I used to have a very diverse background with experience in education and also in marketing. And then when we moved to Finland, I started to study international business. Also, right away, I fell in love with Tampere and I became a Tampere ambassador. And after graduation, I united all my aspirations in opened company, which includes the education, also attraction specialists to Tampere, and also different variety of projects. So the company is organizing Finnish expertise expert.
So, as I know, your company goes under the name of TED. So, what is TED? What do you do?
So, yes, by coincidence, the company's name is TED Center, Tampere Expertise Development. I focus on the Tampere expertise areas. There are currently four areas which we are offering as an expertise for international professionals. So everything started from education, and I used to work with Russian and foreign educators during 2 years. So education is my favorite field. But also we have the medicine, the area of medicine and medical technology, also smart city and circular economy. So in total now there are 4 main areas, but also we know that Tampere is famous for other things, and currently we are looking forward to develop them as well.
Do you happen to remember how did you come up with the idea of starting a business?
Okay, when I was graduating from the university, I needed to find the thesis research topic, and then I understood that I need to find something which I'm really good at. By my first education, I am a pedagogical psychologist, and I decided to select the Finnish education expert topic for the thesis. And then during making my thesis, I discovered that there is a huge demand in the Russian market. So I made my first steps being already a student. I welcomed some groups, made some good connections on the market. Then I decided after I graduated that somehow I need to lean upon this experience. But then my another aspiration, Tampere Ambassadors, it helped a lot. Because Tampere Ambassadors, it's the voluntary community organized by the City of Tampere and uniting international experts who promote Tampere globally. So I used to be a very active ambassador and very dedicated, and we had great support from the city and from Business Tampere. And during these years, starting from 2016, we had a lot of different company visits and many interesting lectures. So basically this network opened Tampere for me. And except for my very external and intuitive involvement and dedication to Tampere, I found out that it has a lot of expertise which actually is hidden. And then I decided that I combine the education expert topic and also will be speaking globally about Tampere and other interesting areas which we have here.
What is so fascinating about Finnish education for you?
I have to say that everything from the beginning, actually it started my aspirations about Finnish education started from personal experience, because I used to be a student here, and my husband, he was studying language here, and we have 2 kids who have attended daycare and school, and so I managed to touch Finnish education from different angles. And also then I had some theoretical information from the Learning Scoop company. They organized a professional training program which I took part in. And then somehow it generalized in something very interesting and attractive. And maybe the most interesting aspects which I see in Finnish education, which are different from the education, for example, which I had, is of course the positive pedagogy. So it's the main idea where the teachers and all educators and tutors, they lean upon this kind of philosophy that the student needs to be relaxed and happy, and in this connection all study methods are quite interactive, and they lean upon actually a lot of psychological and scientific research about gamification and different activation methods. So all in all, it makes education much more productive, and the skills which you get, they don't look like knowledge which is dry and you don't really know how to use it except for passing the exam, but they really look like ready-made for application, like a skills, like a competences. So I feel it for myself, because after graduation from the university, it was actually only 2 years, the masteral program, I found myself ready to open a company. Being totally foreigner in another country, and I have to say that I had the adaptation period and the language barrier, everything was there. But I think that it is the education which made me make such a big step ahead.
So was it easy or was it difficult for you to open a business?
So it was relatively easy to open a company, and actually it was a matter of 1 hour, just opening a website and registering. But of course I got necessary consultation, because that's a very serious decision which you need to make, and it's not just about opening, it's about running and future. But here I also got enough support. Actually, I really like that Tampere has a great startup ecosystem, and without it, maybe I wouldn't come up to this idea so quickly. So we have a startup community tribe, which I was very frequently attending and meeting people who was happily sharing information and success stories. Also, we have some consultancy units from the City of Tampere, like international hub in the unit of international talent attraction and migration. Also, we have Asymmetry, where I got consultation about the specifics. So it really looks like the well-organized and working ecosystem where you can get advice and inspiration and idea in everywhere. So you have many contacts, and from every single side, your issue seems and feels to be covered. So the process, like step by step, was that first I went to Asymmetry and I took the consultation, and then I found out that I can get a startup grant. Then I applied for the startup grant, and only after receiving this decision, this positive decision, I opened the company. So it was very wise, a stepwise process. And then when I opened the company, also there are a lot of different tools how to develop it. So basically there is something every week, again in Tribe, and somewhere different lectures and networking sessions depending on your area. So also I was really feeling a lot of support in this way. So I started to grow, and yes, and also I got a lot of help from people, and a lot of help from the infrastructure which has been organized before. Basically, I would say that it was a pleasure to open a company, and compared to my country, I used to have business there as well. There are much more bureaucracy in terms of paperwork, and it is still there. It's not everything you can do online. And also I would say that in Finland, the processes, they are optimized and simplified. So they are adjusted even for the foreigners. Everything is in English, and everything is somehow, it doesn't look so complicated. So in Russia, I used to spend more time to understand the logic and everything. Basically, I would say that in my country is very different. But also in Russia, there is no such ecosystem and support. And the entrepreneur should be much more brave and independent, because once opening a company, he is by his own. There is no lectures, no advices, no events. You really need to have a very mature business idea. Here as well, but in Russia, it's more that you do things by your own.
Thank you very much for this interview, Natalia.
Thank you, Marina. It was very nice to talk to you, and I really hope that my experience will help someone.
Hello, Elina. Nice to meet you. Thank you for the time and effort for doing this interview.
Yeah, thanks. It's nice to talk to you and tell something about our services and what we are up to nowadays.
Yeah, you're definitely one of the rock stars nowadays, because all the business people, all startup people, everybody is interested what can happen, what kind of support they can get from different sources, City being one of the main, and basically what to do and how to survive. But probably before we go into the work discussion, could you please introduce yourself to our listeners?
Yeah, so my name is Elina Wallin, and I'm working as a service manager at the City of Tampere kaupunki. I'm working as a service manager in a field of growth services. So I'm working with the employment questions and trying to help, as you already said in your introduce, that we're trying to figure out what kind of services our employers need nowadays, this difficult moment. I started to work as a service manager like 2 months ago. So I used to work in an employment and economic office of Pirkanmaa. So I have a, as you said, history of these kind of services, the background, and now I'm trying to see these things in a glasses of city life.
All right, so you're a person who can share some expertise and some views. Can you tell a bit more what kind of services in general the department you're working for provide for the entrepreneurs? What is the good time to address to you?
Okay, so we are now talking about what are the growth services? What does it mean? So what we mean with these growth services, so it reflects to our aim to help the businesses to achieve the growth. So our main target, as we are the public actor, so we like to ensure the availability and also the variability of the local services. And so with these services, we really want to support the functioning of the labor market and businesses, what's also included, of course, the employment services and business development services. And if we are talking about the field of employment, so these growth services, so these include job placement services, these normal kind of recruitment services, job search services, and we have career guidance and also the various skills development services. And so in addition of these, so in growth services, we also include financial services and these kind of services to national and innovation and also tailored business development services. So,
all right, let's say I would like to start a business of my own. Shall I talk to your department, and what kind of help can I get?
We are having this corona crisis going on, and now we are really planning this decision-making process to support solo entrepreneurs. So we are trying to plan that we are going to have this service to help on this crisis. But if you need that kind of help, that how can I start my own business.